in the early 90s, it really didn't get any bigger than Goosebumps books for kids. It was basically like the Harry Potter of that early 90s, at least in my area, or at least in the US and Canada. Um, and the very first episode that they ever did was The Haunted Mask, released October 27th, 1995. I can't say which one's my favorite. I had like about a half a dozen books, maybe about 10. Night of the Living Dummy, Don't Go in the Basement, The Haunted Mask 2. The Cujo knockoff. R.L. Stine was basically like a Stephen King knockoff. And even though they were intended for kids, these episodes and these books still managed to capture a good, scary horror feel. And in the first one, The Haunted Mask, it's about a girl on Halloween who she's cautious and she gets afraid and scared easily. So what does she do? She gets pranked on all up Halloween week, and this Halloween she wants to be the one scaring people. So she goes into her small town America in town, into the local shop where they overprice everything, and the old guy's in there with his collection of masks, and he's just being a stubborn asshole, and he's like, no, no, not that, fuck it, just take it, and gives her the mask. This is the cover of the first one. These books came out like in 1993, The Haunted Mask came out in 1993. I don't know when the first Goosebumps book came out. I think it was either 89 or 1990. Early 90s. So right when I was fall of 1992, 20 years ago from right now, is when I was in kindergarten, and they were huge throughout when I was in grade school, all the way up 5th grade into middle school. After middle school, if you got caught walking around with the Goosebumps book, you weren't that cool. But then I think he did a 2000 series, but the original first two series were classic, those mid-90s ones. And the episodes, it was big enough to obviously create a TV show, obviously. And I know a lot of kids who are my age, who were born in the 80s or late 80s or early 90s, definitely know about Goosebumps, definitely watch these episodes. They're talking about reviving the whole show. Not the show, but the series for a feature film in the big screen. And I do a video of that on VillainNews, so search my channel if you want to check out that video for more information. Anyway, back to this. So the masks are cursed. What happens is they end up getting the mask, and it becomes a part of you. And in the first one, it follows the girl. It's not as scary as the second one. And the curse has to be broken by, oh, you guessed it, since it's made for TV and for kids, the spell has to be broken by love. Doesn't Scary Movie make fun of that in Scary Movie 3? And then part 2, the second one that came out next year, The Haunted Mask 2. It follows the same group of kids, except for instead of happening to the girl, it happens to the guy, the kid, and the boy, and his friends dressed up like a pimp outfit. You know those kids? And he ends up breaking into the store because the store is out of business now, and he ends up stealing a mask. And the special effects for this one's dope, and he turns into an old man. It's the one on the right here. And it's badass. And there's like spiders coming out of his ears and goo, and the special effects is badass, and it's really creepy, and his voice is awesome. And the owner ends up getting his. The episodes are way more creepier. I recommend part 2. You could watch the second one without watching the first one. You pretty much get up to speed with what happens. You can check them out on YouTube. This was JBM. This is my horror movie marathon 2012, featuring bunch of random different episodes I'm going to be doing. On cartoon episodes, Goosebumps episodes, Tales from the Dark Side, movies, The House That Dripped Blood, Sorority House, Haunting on Sorority Row, who knows, Skeleton Key, whatever I'm up for, I'm out.